right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
You know, Donkey of the Day for Monday, November 24th. It's inspired by the meeting between Mayor-elect Zoran Mondani and the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. If you haven't heard, on this past Friday, Zoran Mondani and Donald J. Trump had a meeting at the White House. Okay, according to statements and reporting, they discussed affordability, the cost of living crisis, public safety, economic security, and federal-local cooperation. Zoran expressed that even with deep ideological differences, there has to be a practical working relationship between the federal government and New York City. Let's listen to some of what was said.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mondani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
So we're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. I'll be cheering for him.
Didn't mention anything about America.
I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually, and some very liberal people. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person.
So, well, they're being very cordial to each other, very nice to each other. I completely agree with that. And anyone who thought there wasn't going to be a working relationship between New York City and the federal government doesn't understand politics. But the reason I have gathered us here today is because I don't want to hear any politicians call each other extreme names like fascists, communists, authoritarian, wannabe dictator. None of that kind of rhetoric can come from politicians anymore. It's all dead because none of y'all really believe it. Okay, and if you call someone that and then turn around and say, but I'm willing to work with them, it looks very hypocritical. Okay, leave that type of commentary for the pundits, all right, like myself, for the social media, YouTube commentator crowd, and y'all go do your jobs. Okay, go govern, go be diplomatic, go do the politics thing, all right? That rhetoric is irresponsible in this climate, all right? Both parties rile people up, have we the people mad at each other, fighting in the street, fighting online. Some folks literally commit acts of violence against their political opposition. Meanwhile, the politicians are out here working with each other. Okay, do we not remember some of the things Trump and Mondani said about each other? Let's listen.
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there.
We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford, where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism.
This guy is a communist at the highest level, and he wants to destroy New York.
I will not be intimidated by this president. I will not be intimidated by anyone because my job here is to serve the people of this city.
This communist from New York someday gets elected. I can't believe that's happening. That's a terrible thing for our country, by the way.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Blah, blah, blah. It's all political theater. Okay, and it's irresponsible because they got us out here choosing sides, gang on each other. Meanwhile, they working together. How you going to be mad at a person because of who they voted for, who they supported politically, but then watch the people you support be willing to work with them? I know some of y'all out there saying, but they politicians, they have to work together. Yes, they do, and they should. But stop with the extreme rhetoric like fascism and communism. Okay, Zoran Mondani was on NBC News yesterday, and he said he still believes Donald Trump is a fascist, but he's willing to work with him. Let's listen.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do?
And that's something that I've said in the past, I say it today, and I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
Listen, America, my name is Leonard McKelvey, commonly known as Charlamagne the God, and I believe words matter. Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but based on everything I know about fascism, if someone truly believes a political figure is a fascist, then the idea of working with them is contradictory. Okay, fascism isn't a normal political disagreement, all right? Disagreeing on tax rates is a normal political disagreement. Economic issues, environmental concerns, those are normal political disagreements. Fascism is not, okay? When you call someone a fascist, you are accusing them of being fundamentally anti-democratic, authoritarian, and willing to use the power of the state to crush opposition, okay? If you believe someone is fascist and historically and morally, you resist them or use institutions, law, and coalitions to contain them, okay? Limit their power. You organize against them, litigate against them, but you don't collaborate, because collaboration with a fascist regime, even on small issues, legitimizes it. So if Zoran truly believes Trump is a fascist, and working with him makes zero sense. But this is my issue. He doesn't fully believe Trump is a fascist, just like Trump doesn't fully believe Mondani is a communist. It's all political theater. Now, there are a lot of things Trump has done and has said that look like fascism and authoritarian strategy to me, but I feel like that's the media's job to call it out, okay? Politicians clearly can't do that because the words don't match the actions, and that's when you just look like a dishonest politician who says whatever to get elected, because once again, if you think someone is a fascist, but you believe you can work with them, that's where the question of hypocrisy becomes unavoidable. Okay, listen to me. I know I have a lisp, all right? So you don't take me serious, but you can't call someone a fascist and then treat them like a normal political partner. Those two positions contradict each other. So the real question for Trump, okay, Mondani. The real question for Trump and Mondani, you know? These are what should be asked of them. Hey, Trump, were you exaggerating when you called Mondani a communist? Hey, Zoran, were you exaggerating when you called Trump a fascist? Or Zoran, are you now minimizing fascism by agreeing to work with Trump? Or Trump, are you minimizing communism by agreeing to work with Zoran? Here's the answer to all these questions. It's politics as usual. And I'm sick of politicians doing this because, once again, you know who it hurts the most? Us. You done told your aunt and 3 of your cousins, F you, you're not invited to Thanksgiving this year because of who they supported politically. Meanwhile, the people we supported politically are willing to support each other. If Zoran and Trump can be in the White House smiling at each other and excessively touching on each other, then you and your family can enjoy Thanksgiving dinner together, okay? Listen, to all elected officials, if you call somebody a fascist or communist, but then sit down and work with them like everything is normal, you make those words meaningless, all right? It's dangerous to do that. It's dangerous to weaken those terms, and it confuses the public, all right? When you call someone a fascist or communist, it's supposed to mean something serious. You talking Hitler, Mussolini, and politicians are using these terms for emotional leverage, not accuracy, and the danger in that, people, the public becomes numb to real authoritarian threats. Please give every politician who has done this, because it's not just Mondani and Trump, it's all of them, the biggest hee-haw. All right. Yes, indeed. Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.
Hold up. Every day I wake up.
Wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?